So what is a cursor? We can understand like cursor is a pointer to the memory location in the Oracle instance. So this is Oracle instance. This green color circle is memory location in the Oracle instance. So the C1 cursor is pointing to the memory location in the Oracle instance. Okay. So why we are using this cursor? To hold multiple rows and process row by row. We use it. So to use this cursor, we have to follow 4 steps. What are those? Declare the cursor, open the cursor, fetch the record from cursor, then close the cursor. So when we declare the cursor, we declare like this. Cursor variable name is select query, we write. So with this what happens? C1 cursor variable will be created and identifies which select query is there with cursor. And when we open the cursor, open C1, open cursor name, open C1 means the select query associated with this cursor will run. That result will be stored in the Oracle instance. Okay, that memory location address will be given to the C1. Next, we want to fetch the records from cursor. So we write fetch statement like this. So by default, cursor will be pointed to before first row. When fetch is executed for first time, first record will be accessed. When fetch is executed for second time, second record will be accessed. When fetch is executed for third time, third record will be accessed. So when fetch is unsuccessful, stop it. So we need to write fetch statement. One fetch statement can process one row at a time. To process multiple rows, we write fetch statement in the loop. Next, for closing the cursor, we write close cursor name, we write. Okay. Next, to work with cursor, we have to follow these 4 steps, and also we have to use the cursor attributes. So what are the cursor attributes are there? So there are 4 cursor attributes. There are 4 cursor attributes. What are those? They are, first one is percentage font. Percentage font. Second one is percentage not font. Third one is percentage row count. And fourth one is percentage is open. Percentage font, percentage not font, percentage row count, percentage is open. These 4 are called cursor attributes. Okay. Percentage font, percentage not font, percentage row count, percentage is open. So what is this percentage font, sir? So if we want to use these cursor attributes, syntax to use cursor attribute. So to use the cursor attribute, we have to follow this syntax. Cursor name, attribute name. So cursor name, percentage, attribute name. This syntax we have to follow. Cursor name, percentage, attribute name we have to follow. Okay. For example, if cursor name is C1, we write like this. C1 percentage font. C1 percentage not font. C1 percentage row count. C1 percentage is open. Like this we use. If you want to use the cursor attribute, we write cursor name percentage attribute name. So C1 percentage found, C1 percentage not found, C1 percentage row count, C1 percentage is open. So like this, we can use the cursor attributes. So what is the purpose of this percentage found, sir? This percentage found attribute, it returns Boolean value, like true, false. It returns Boolean value. If record is found, it returns true. If record is not found, it returns false. So if the percentage found, if record is found, what it returns? True. If record is not found, what it returns? False. Next, percentage not found. It is opposite to the found. Okay, it is opposite to the found. It also returns Boolean value. It returns Boolean value. If record is not found, what it returns? True. If record is found, it returns false. This is percentage not found. Next, percentage row count. Okay. Generally, it is used to get number of rows fetched. So how many rows are fetched is to get number of rows fetched. So to get number of rows fetched, we use percentage row count. So initially, row count value is 0. So when first record is fetched, when fetch is executed for first time, row count value will become 1. So when fetch is executed for first time, row count value will be incremented by 1. Means now row count value is 1. So when fetch is executed for second time, row count value will become 2. Now row count value is 1. Now row count value is 1. So when fetch is executed for first time, row count will be incremented by 1. So now row count value is 1. So when fetch is executed for next time, again row count value will be incremented by 1. Now row count value will become 2. So when fetch is executed, row count value will be incremented by 1. Okay, so when fetch is executed, row count value will be incremented by 1. So when fetch is successful, row count value will be incremented by 1. Okay. So clearly I'm writing when fetch is executed for next time. When fetch is executed for next time, row count value will be again incremented by 1. So when fetch is executed for next time, row count value will become 2. Row count value is 2 and so on. So the point to understand here is when fetch is successful, row count value will be incremented by 1. So this is row count. So how many rows are fetched here? How many rows are processed here? To get that number, we use percentage row count. Next, whether cursor is opened or not, to check it, we use percentage is open. It returns Boolean value. It returns Boolean value. Okay, it is used to check whether cursor is opened or not. So whether cursor is opened or not, we want to check. So we use percentage is open. Okay. For example, after opening the cursor, if we use this is open, that returns true. Before opening the cursor, if we use it, it returns false. For example, here, we are opening the cursor here. After opening the cursor, if you write percentage, C1 percentage is open, okay, means what it returns? True. Okay. Before opening, now cursor is not open, so what it returns? False. If cursor is open, it returns true. If cursor is not open, it returns false. So like this we use. So these are the 4 cursor attributes. So what are the cursor attributes are there? Percentage found, percentage not found, percentage row count, percentage is open. 4 cursor attributes are there. Okay, when record is found, percentage found value is true. When record is not found, percentage found value is false. Percentage not found. When record is not found, okay, its value is true. When record is found, its value is false. Percentage row count. When fetch is executed, row count value will be incremented by 1. Fetch is executed for first time, row count value will become 1. Fetch is executed for next time, row count value will become 2. It goes on. So to get number of rows fetched and processed, we use this percentage row count. To check whether cursor is opened or not, we use this percentage is open. These are the 4 cursor attributes. Okay. So now, you know 4 steps. These 4 steps and these cursor attributes are important to write the program. So what are the steps? Declare, open, fetch, close. What are the cursor attributes? Percentage found, percentage not found, percentage row count, percentage is open. So now you know theory part regarding cursors. Now you can write the programs. Okay. In the initial sessions, we have written this program. Select program we have written. Now, here we are giving employee number. That employee's record, it is displaying, it is retrieving and displaying. Now, using this program, how many records we can display? 1 record only. Just we give one employee number, that one employee's record only it will display. Okay, it cannot display multiple records. It can display only single record. It cannot display multiple records. So, for example, we are running this program. I am giving this employee number as 1005. So here 1005 employees data will be retrieved. E-name will be copied into V underscore e-name. Salary will be copied into V underscore salary. Hire date will be copied into V underscore hire date. And it displays that 1005 persons data. So how many employees records it is displaying now? Only one. One employee record it is displaying. So if we follow this way, we can display only single record. Now our requirement is we want to work with multiple records. We want to display all records. So when we want to work with multiple rows, we must use cursor concept. We cannot follow this way. We must use cursor concept. So that's why we are using the cursor. So this is a program to display all employees records. Program to display all employees records. We want to display all employees records. This is our requirement. What we have to write? Declare, begin, end. Okay, pay attention and listen carefully. We want to declare the cursor. Okay, to declare the cursor, what we have to write? Cursor variable name is select query. What we have to write? Cursor variable name C1 is write the select query. We want to retrieve ename and salary from EMP. So cursor declared, select query is given. So this is called declaring cursor. One step is over. Second step is what? Open the cursor. For opening cursor, what we are writing? Open C1. Cursor is open. Okay. Now we want to fetch the records from cursor. See here, yesterday we discussed this. Observe the syntaxes first. This is the syntax for declaring cursor. Cursor variable name is select query. Cursor C1 is the cursor variable name is select query we are writing as ename salary from EMP. To open this cursor, what we are writing? Open cursor name. Open C1. To fetch the record from cursor, fetch cursor name into variable list. Fetch cursor name C1 into, in these variables, we are copying that row. And finally, to close the cursor, close cursor name we have to give. Close C1. These are the 4 steps. Those only we are writing. Yesterday we discussed this. So here we are declaring the cursor. Cursor C1 is select statement. Here we are opening the cursor. After that we need to fetch. For fetching, what we have to write? Fetch cursor name. So now this cursor has entire row. Okay. So that entire row we are copying into the corresponding variables. V underscore ename, V underscore salary. So one record will be fetched. That one record we want to print. So right here, dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay, we want to print employee name. What we have to write? V underscore ename. I want to get 3 spaces. Okay, V underscore salary. Okay, so finally to close the cursor, we are writing close C1. Now this program can display how many records now? This program can display how many records now? One record only. One fetch statement can display one record only. If we want to process multiple rows, write this fetch statement in the loop. So that's it. This is the program. What is happening? Observe here. I'm explaining execution process clearly. Try to understand. See here. With this declaration, C1 variable is created. So with this declaration, okay, C1 variable is created. Okay, yes. We need to declare the variables. Okay, so C1 variable is created. So this select query will be identified. This is at the time of declaration here. What happens? This select query will run. That select query result will be stored in the Oracle instance. Okay, so here employee names and salaries will be holded in the Oracle instance. Like 1005, so Smith is salary. Okay, Allen is salary. Okay, Ward is salary. So like this select query result will be stored in the Oracle instance. That memory location address will be given to the C1. Now fetch is executed. Okay, I'm writing clearly here. Try to understand. Let me declare these two variables. V underscore ename, V underscore salary. Okay, so this is emp dot ename percentage type. This is emp dot salary percentage type. So in the Oracle instance, that is storing employee name and salary. So employee name Smith is salary. Employee name Allen is salary. Employee name Ward is salary. So like this data stored in the Oracle instance now. Try to understand. Once again, I'm repeating. Here we are declaring the cursor. With this, one cursor variable C1 will be created. And this select query will be identified. Here we are opening the cursor. When we open the cursor, this select query will run. That select query result copied from Oracle database to the Oracle instance. So now this is the memory location. This green color box is the memory location in the Oracle instance. This memory location address will be given to the C1. So now C1 is pointing to the memory location in the Oracle instance. Okay. So like this, cursor is holding multiple rows now. Now cursor is holding multiple rows. Okay. So by default, this cursor is pointed to the before first row. This is after last row. So first time fetch is executed now. When first time fetch is executed, what happens here? This first record will be copied into the corresponding variables. So now V underscore ename value will become Smith. V underscore salary value will become 5,000. So first time this cursor is pointing to the before first row. When fetch is executed for first time, first record copied into the corresponding variables with this fetch statement. Now cursor is pointing to first row. That first record copied into the corresponding variables. Here fetch is executed. So first record copied into the variables. We are printing V underscore ename and V underscore salary. So on output screen, it prints employee name Smith and salary 5,000. So now we need to execute this fetch statement once again. So we have to write this code in the loop. If you write in the loop, again fetch statement will be executed. Again, when fetch is executed for second time, this second record will be copied into the variables. C1 is pointing to second row now. When fetch is executed for second time, this second row will be copied into the variables. Now v underscore ename value will become what now? Ln. V underscore salary value will become what now? 4000. So here v underscore ename value ln will be printed. And v underscore salary value 4000 will be printed. Okay, statements in the loop are over. Again, we need to execute the fetch statement. Again, fetch is executed means it fetches next record. Now this third record will be pointed. This record will be copied into corresponding variables. Now v underscore ename value will become what? And v underscore salary value will become 6000. So v underscore ename value what will be printed? V underscore salary value 6000 will be printed. Again, fetch will be executed. So after what, no row is there. Now fetch is unsuccessful. When fetch is unsuccessful, terminate this loop. So to terminate the loop, what we have to write? Exit when. Okay. When we want to exit, when record not found, exit. So what we have to write here? Cursor name C1. C1 percentage not found. So when record is not found, this value will become true. It terminates the loop. Like this we have to write. So this is the way of working with the cursor. Okay. So cursor C1 means C1 is created. Select query will be identified. When we open the cursor, this select query will run. Select query result will be copied into the Oracle instance. This memory location address will be stored in the cursor. Now when fetch is executed, it fetches first record, copies into the variables. We are printing. So we need to write this code inside of the loop. When fetch is executed for second time, second record will be copied into the variables. We are printing. When fetch is executed for third time, okay, third record will be copied into the variables. We are printing. Okay, next no records are there. We have to terminate. When we have to terminate, exit when C1 percentage not found. When record is not found, terminate it. Okay, so exit when C1 percentage not found. So observe. See. See here. When fetch is executed for first time, so record is found here. When record is found, not value become false. So it will not terminate the loop. Okay. So here also record is found. Not found value is false. Here also record is found. Not found value is false. Here record not found now. When record is not found, this value will become true. When this value is true, it terminates the loop. So we are writing this code inside of the loop. So this is the code for displaying all employees records. So this fetch statement we are writing inside of the loop. Simple loop we are using. To terminate simple loop, we are using exit when. When record is not found, terminate the loop. Okay. When record is found, print it. I'm copying this. Okay. Observe here. All employees records printed or not. See here. So Smith is salary. Allen is salary. What is salary? Okay. If loop is not there, if this loop is not there, Okay, for example, I'm removing loop here. I'm removing loop. If loop is not there, what happens? Only one record will be fetched. Only one record will be fetched here. Okay, and that one record will be printed. See here, how many records it is printing? One record. But our requirement is what? We want to print all records. Okay, so we have to write this code inside of the loop. So that's why we are writing loop here. So instead of loop, we are writing fetch statement. So when record is not found, terminate the loop. Exit when C1% not found. So when record is not found, terminate the loop. When record is found, print it. So please confirm, did you understand this? Next. Now same program. Here, if we follow this way, here we are printing which details? Only employee names and salaries. I want to display entire record. To display entire record, how many variables we have to take now? How many variables we have to take? 8 variables. To display 2 values, 2 variables we are taking. To display all values, how many variables we have to take? 8. Instead of taking 8 variables, simply you can take a row type variable. Okay, so now same program I'm writing, row type variable I'm taking now. Okay, same program. Okay, see here, observe. Please tell me what you have to write. Just feel like practice. Please, all of you involve in the class and give me the response here. Declare, begin, end. What we have to write? Cursor we have to declare. Cursor C1 is select all data we want. Star. Previously we have taken e-name salary only. Now star. All columns data we want. Select star from EMP. So select star from EMP we are writing. Okay. So cursor we are declaring here. Now we need to open the cursor. What we have to write? Open C1. So cursor is open. We need to fetch the record from cursor. What we have to write? Fetch C1 into entire row we want to hold. R. R is which type? Okay, row type. Which table's row type? EMP. EMP percentage row type. EMP percentage row type. Okay, now we have entire row. Okay, we want to print employee name, salary and hire date. DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. R dot e name. I want to get 3 spaces. R dot e name. I want to get 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Okay, R dot salary. I want to get 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next R dot hire date. R dot hire date. R dot hire date. Okay, so this is the program. Now, finally, to close the cursor, what we are writing? Close C1. Okay. Now, it can display how many records now? 1 record only. Observe here. Are we taking many variables here? Are we taking 8 variables here? No. Just we are taking row type variable that is holding 8 values. Whatever the values required, those you can print. I am printing 3. If you want to print 8, print 8. So I am copying and running this program. Observe. Okay, see here. How many records it is printing now? 1. 1 employee record it is printing. So I want to print all employees records. What we have to do now? Okay, this code we have to write it inside of the loop. So fetch next record, print it. Fetch next record, print it. So write this code inside of the loop. So simple loop we are taking. Loop, end loop. Okay, so fetch. Now, when we have to terminate this exit, when record is not found, we want to terminate it. What we have to write? C1, percentage not found, percentage not found. So when record is not found, terminate it, otherwise print it. This is the code. Okay, same program. There we have taken variables. Here we are taking row type. Just for practice purpose, once again we have written. I'm copying. Observe here. Now all employees records will be printed. See here. See, all employees, employee names, okay, their salaries and hire date it is printing. Okay, first record, second record, third record, like this. Listen carefully here. For example, we are writing like this. Select E name, comma salary, comma hire date from EMP I'm writing. So now what is the result of this one? It displays all employees, employee name, salaries, hire date. Okay, what is the output of our program? It is displaying all employee names, salaries and hire date. Both are same or not? Yes. So here to execute this select query, implicitly it is using one cursor. To execute this select query here, implicitly it is using one cursor. One cursor is used. Okay. So to execute this select query, implicitly one cursor is used. That is called implicit cursor. That implicit cursor name is SQL. So this is C1 is our cursor. This is explicit cursor. We defined cursor. And here we are processing multiple rows. We are printing multiple employees records. So what is happening here? See. C1 variable will be created. Select star from EMP means in the Oracle instance, entire EMP table data will be copied. Employee number, e-name, salary, hire date, etc. Like this. So this data will be stored in the Oracle instance. This memory location address will be given to the C1. Okay, R variable will be created. R can hold entire row. It can hold employee number, e-name, salary, hire date, etc. Okay. Next, when we open the cursor like this, select query run and it is storing the result in the Oracle instance. Next, fetch. So when fetch is executed for first time, first record 1001 copied into R. So 1001 will be, so record found or not? Yes. So this value is false now. So record found, this prints that 1001 record on output screen. So on output screen, it prints 1001 employee record. Next, because of we have written in the loop, again fetch will be executed. So second row will be copied into the R. Now record is found. So percentage not found value is false. 1002 will be printed. This one is printing 1002. Next again, loop means again fetch statement will be executed. It is fetching another record. This record will be copied into the R. So record is found here, not found value is false. So 1003 record will be printed here. Next, because of loop, again fetch statement will be executed. After this, no rows are there. Record is not found. So C1 percentage not found value will be true. It terminates the loop and closes the cursor. So finally, all records are printed. Next. So this is a program to display all employees records. Now, see one more topic. Listen. Next topic is CursorForLoop. CursorForLoop. So, in real time, most of the developers use CursorForLoop instead of simple loop. Okay. So, for CursorForLoop, the syntax is for variable name in cursor name. For variable name in cursor name we write. Then write loop, end loop. In between that we write the statements which we want to execute repeatedly. So this is the syntax of cursor for loop. Okay, so this is important. Listen, for we give variable here in cursor name, loop, end loop. In between that we are writing the statements. So this syntax we have to follow to use the cursor for loop. If we use cursor for loop, what are the advantages we are getting, sir? So you tell me, to use the cursor, how many steps we have to follow? 4 steps. What are those? Declare the cursor, open the cursor, fetch the record from cursor, and close the cursor. So how many steps we are following? 4 steps we are following. If we use cursor for loop, the advantage is we have no need to open the cursor, we have no need to fetch the record from cursor, we have no need to close the cursor, just simply declare it. These 3 things will be done implicitly by the cursor for loop. This is the advantage we get. So generally, to use the cursor, how many steps we have to follow? 4 steps. If we use the cursor for loop, what is the advantage we are getting here? We have no need to open the cursor. We have no need to fetch the record from cursor. We have no need to close the cursor. All these 3 things will be done implicitly by this cursor for loop. And we have no need to declare this loop variable also. This loop variable will be declared implicitly as which type? Percentage row type. Percentage row type variable. Okay. So simple for loop is different. Cursor for loop is different. In simple for loop, what you are writing? You are writing like this. For example, if you want to print numbers from 1 to 10 for I in 1.10. Okay. For variable name in start lower value, upper value, like this you are writing. This is different. This is simple loop. And this is different. This is cursor for loop. For cursor for loop, this is the syntax. For variable in cursor name, loop, end loop, in between that write the statements. So in normal cursor, okay, so if we use cursor for loop, the benefit is if we use cursor for loop, if we use cursor for loop, the benefit is if we use cursor for loop, we have no need to open the cursor. We have no need to fetch the record from cursor. Okay, and we have no need to close the cursor. Okay, and we have no need to declare the loop variable. We have no need to declare the loop variable. This loop variable will be declared implicitly as row type. Okay, so this loop variable, okay, so all above 3 things will be done implicitly. We have no need to do this one. So we have no need to open the cursor, fetch the record from cursor, close the cursor. All above 3 things will be done implicitly. So we have no need to declare the loop variable. This loop variable will be declared as row type implicitly. we have no need to declare it. Okay, so if we use the cursor for loop, we have no need to open the cursor, fetch the record from cursor, close the cursor. Okay, and we have no need to declare the loop variable also. This loop variable will be declared as percentage row type implicitly. So this is the program. Same program, we want to display all employees records. Program to display all employees records. All employees records using cursor for loop. We want to use cursor for loop here. Using cursor for loop, we want to display all employees records. What we have tried? Declare begin end slash. Declare the cursor now. Cursor C1 is select star from EMP. Select star from EMP. Okay. Now, is it required to open the cursor now? No. Is it required to fetch the record from cursor? No. Is it required to close the cursor? No. So directly write cursor for loop. How we write cursor for loop? Observe the syntax first. For variable name in cursor name. For variable name in cursor name, loop, end loop. In between that, write the statements. Okay. So we are writing the cursor for loop now. For variable name, I am taking as R, row type. R will be implicitly taken as the EMP table row type. Okay. In which cursor we were accessing? C1. For R in C1. Okay. Loop, end loop. Okay. So here, what we want to do now, we want to print employee record. So to print the employee record, what we have to write? DBMS underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay. To access employee name, what we have to write? R dot ename. Okay. I want to get 3 spaces. Okay. R dot salary. Okay. If you want to display other things, you can print. I'm printing 2 details only. So now observe here. Program is over. Here we are declaring the cursor. Are we opening the cursor here? No. Are we fetching the record from cursor? No. Are we closing the cursor? No. All these 3 things will be done implicitly by this cursor for loop. Okay. So first record will be holded in the R. First record we are printing. Next record will be holded in the R. Next record we are printing. Next record will be holded in the R. Next record we are printing. Like this. Like this, all records it will print. So it is easy to use. So most of the developers use this cursor for loop in the real time. If you want to use normal simple loops, also you can use. So this is the way of using cursor for loop. Observe here. See, it is displaying the data. Here, we are not opening, we are not fetching, we are not closing. Just we are using cursor for loop. It is printing all employees records. All those 3 things are done implicitly here. And are we declaring R here? Observe. Are we declaring R? No. This R implicitly declared as EMP tables row type. So this is example on cursor for loop. Now see one more example. See, listen. This is a program. Yesterday we did this. Okay. Our requirement is we want to calculate, program to calculate total marks. Okay. Average marks and the result of all students. Yesterday we found the result for how many students? 1 student. Now, if we follow that way, if 100 students are there, our program we have to write for 100 times. So it becomes complex. So that's why to process multiple rows, now we are using the cursor concept. So yesterday we created student table. Okay, observe. Select star from student. So this is the student table data. This is student table data. Okay. Next, there is another table is there. Result table is there. Result table is there. Okay. This data I want to remove. So I want to remove all records. I am using truncate command. So truncate table. Table name is result. All records are truncated. Now, as of now, in the result table, no rows are there. Okay, we want to calculate result of these students, and that result we want to store in the result table. That is our requirement. So, for our understanding purpose, I am taking student table here. SID, SName, marks of subject 1, marks of subject 2, marks of subject 3. 1001A sample data we are taking. Okay, 60, 80, 60, 80, 50. So 60, 80, 50. Next 1002B. Okay, next 50, 30, 90. 50, 30, 90. 50, 30, 90. This is student table data. Like student table, we are creating one more table here. So this table name is result. So this table name is result. In the result table, we are holding student ID, total, average, and result. What is our requirement now? These students, for all students, we want to find the total marks, average marks, and result that we want to insert here. 1001 student, total marks, average marks, result. We want to find and we want to insert here. Next 1002 person, total marks, average marks, result we want to find and insert here. For all students, we want to calculate total, average, and result. This is our requirement. Okay. So now take the cursor. In the cursor, hold this data. In the cursor, hold this data. Okay. Now, I'm writing the program. Observe here. Declare, begin, end. Declare the cursor. Cursor C1 is, in the C1, we want to hold student table data. So what we have to write here? Select star from student. Okay. I want to open the cursor now. Open C1. I want to fetch the record from cursor. Okay. Fetch C1 into R1. R1 variable I'm taking. So the student table record we want to hold in the R1. So R1 variable declare here. R1, in the R1 what we are holding? Student table row. So percentage row type. Okay. Now observe here. See, like this R1 will be created here. This is R1. This is what? This is R1. In the R1, it holds first record. When fetch is executed for first time, first record will be copied into the R. When fetch is executed for first time, first record will be copied into the R1. Okay. So now this is R1 data. What is our requirement now? We want to calculate total. So R1.M1. Okay. R1 plus R1.M2 plus R1.M3. R1.M1 plus R1.M2 plus R1.M3. Where we want to store, take another variable R2. R2, which type? Result table type. Okay. Here hold student ID, total, average, result. So where we want to store total marks here? In the R2 dot total. So take one more variable here. R2 variable we have to take. So in the R2, okay, which data will be there? SID, total, average, and result. This is what now R2. R2 is created. Okay. So now in this R2 here, we want to store the total. So 60 plus 80 plus 50 value we want to get here. Means 190 we want to get here. This is our requirement. 60 plus 80 plus 50. So 60 plus 80, 140, 140 plus 50, 190. Okay, that result we want to store here. So fetch means first record fetched and copied into the R1. We want to calculate total marks now. Okay, what we have to write? R1 dot M1 plus R1 dot M2 plus R1 dot M3. R1 dot M3. Okay, now this result where we want to store? In the R2 dot total. So right here, R2 dot total colon equals to. Same yesterday we did. Okay, next average. Average, okay, R2 dot total by 3. R2 dot total value is what? 190. 190 by 3 value. So this is 63.33. This result we want to store there. Okay, so what we have to write here? R2 dot average colon equals to R2 dot total by 3. R2 dot total by 3. Okay, next we want to find the result now. Okay, to find the result, what we have to write? If, okay, all subject marks must be 40 or greater than 40, then pass. Otherwise fail. So what we are writing here? If R1 dot M1 greater than or equals to 40 and R1 dot M2 greater than or equals to 40 and R1 dot M3 greater than or equals to 40, then pass value we want to store in the R2 dot result. Here in the R2 dot result we want to store. According to this example, this is greater than 40, 60 greater than 40, 80 greater than 40, 50 also greater than 40. So result is pass. That result of pass value we want to store in the R2 dot result. So what we have to write here? R2 dot result colon equals to pass. Else. Otherwise, this condition false means R2 dot result colon equals to fail. To close this if, what we are writing here? End if we are writing. So finally result is in the R2. This R2 data we want to insert into the result table. So what we have to write here? Insert into, okay, student ID is in R1. Observe, student ID is in R1. R1 dot SID. Okay, insert into result. Insert into result values. Student ID is in R1. R1 dot SID, comma. Okay, next total. Total is in R2 dot total. This value. R2 dot total. Next R2 dot average. R2 dot result. So R1 dot SID, comma, R2 dot total, R2 dot total, comma, R2 dot average, comma, R2 dot result. Bracket close. So, okay. So this code we need to write inside of the loop. So if we write like this, it calculate result for one student only. For multiple students we want. So write this code inside of the loop. So inside of loop, we are writing this code. Okay. So this is the code for calculating total, average and result. So here we are closing the loop, end loop. Finally, for user understanding purpose, we want to save complete data here. So what we are writing? Commit. Commit. For user understanding purpose, we want to display one message, dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. Okay. So result calculated. Result calculated. Okay. So finally we want to close the cursor. To close the cursor, right? Close C1. And when we have to terminate this loop, we have to tell here. So when we want to terminate this loop, when record is not found. Okay, what we have to write? Exit when C1 percentage not found. C1 percentage not found. So when record is not found, exit. Otherwise, calculate total, average and result. Program is over. Okay. So now, okay. Yes. Okay. I will declare. Don't be in hurry. Okay, I will declare. Jyoti, I will declare. Okay, see, this is a program to calculate total, average and result. So here R1 variable, in the R1 variable, we are holding student record, and in the R2, we are holding result table record. Okay, so here declare R2 as which type now? Result table. So result percentage row type. Okay, now this is the program. So here we are declaring the cursor. In the C1, we are holding student table data. Okay, then when we are fetching, first record will be copied into the R1. So that first student's total we are holding in the R2.total. Average we are holding in the R2.average. And result we are holding in the R2.result. So for first student we calculated. That result we are inserting into the result table. So because of we have written this in the loop, again fetch will be executed. Now second row will be copied into the R1. So now for our second student, okay, it finds the total, average and result. That record will be inserted into the result table. So like this, it executes for all rows. So yesterday we did same program. There we were processing one row. Today we are processing multiple rows by using the cursor concept. Okay, so let me check the table structure of result. SID total, average, result. Okay. Now let me run this program. Observe here. So this is a program. I'm copying this. See here. So what it is telling? Result calculated. As of now, result table has no rows. After running this program, result is calculated now. Okay, open and see the result table. Select star from result. In the result table, observe result calculated for how many students? 2 students. How many times we are running this program? 1 time. 1 time we are running for multiple students. It is finding the result. So in our student table, how many records are there? 2 records are there. So it is in our student table, how many records are there? 2 records are there. Because of 2 students records are there, for 2 students it is calculating total. If 100 records are there, for 100 students it calculates the total, average and result. If 500 records are there, for all 500 records, our program will calculate total, average and result. So with yesterday's program, we can calculate total, average, result for 1 student only. But with this program, we are calculating for all students at a time. So this is the way of working with multiple rows. Is it clear? Okay. So just cursor concept is new here. This how to calculate total, average, result, that you already know. Next program. Listen carefully. Another program. This is the program to increase salary to different employees. Program to increase salary to different employees with different percentages. This is our requirement. So we want to increase salary to different employees with different percentages. For different employees, different hike we want to give. This is our requirement. So there is EMP table is there. EMP table is having employees data. Okay, like 1001, 1002, okay, 1003, like this. Employees data is there. Assume that up to 1015 data is there. Now, we are taking one more table here. One more table, hike table we are taking. Okay, for different employees, we want to give different hike. Let me observe the EMP table data. Observe. So select employee number, e-name, salary from EMP. Okay. So 1005 Martin. Okay. 1001, 1002, 1003 I'm taking. 1001 Smith, 1002 Allen, 1003 Watt. Okay. So from 1 to 15 data is there. Assume 15 records are there. Okay. So for 1001 Smith, Allen, Watt names I'm taking. So Smith, Allen, Watt. Okay. So in the hike table for different employees, different percentages we want to increase. So here we are taking employee number and percentage. For 1001 employee, we want to increase 20%. For 1002 employee, we want to increase 10%. For 1003 employee, we want to increase 15%. For 1004 employee, we want to increase 12% like this. This is our requirement. Okay, 1004 Jones. So for different employees, different percentages of hike we want to give. That is our requirement. Okay, so those percentages we are maintaining in another table. That table name is what? Hike. In the hike table, for which employee, how much percentage we want to increase? For 1002, 10%. For 1003, 15%. For 1004, 12%. So to which employee, how much percentage we want to increase? That we are maintaining in the hike table. According to this hike table, according to hike table percentages, we want to increase to these employees. That is our requirement. Okay, so hike table is not ready. Let me create this one. So create table. What is the table name? Hike. Okay, what is the first field here? Employee number. Which data type? Number. Next second field is hike. Okay, if you want to take float, you can take float like 12.5, 15.5. You can take float data type here. Okay, I'm taking number only. Number of 2. If you want to take float, you can take float. No problem. Okay, we want to insert records. So I'm inserting 4 records here. Insert into, in which table we want to insert? Hike values. So for 4 employees, for 1001 employee, how much percentage we want to increase? 20. For 1001, 20. Okay, next one more record we want to insert. For 1002, employee, 10%. Okay, next for 1003 employee, 15%. For 1003 employee, 15%. Okay, next for 1004 employee, 12. For 1004 employee, 12%. Like this, to different employees, different hike we want to give. That is our requirement. So hikes are in the hike table. So to which employee, how much percentage we want to increase? Those details are there in the hike table. So all queries I'm copying and I'm running here. Observe. So now hike table will be created. 4 records will be inserted and data is committed. Observe. Hike table created. Okay. In the hike table, records are inserted. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. You can insert all employees records. I'm inserting 4 sample data I'm taking. Okay, so now observe, select star from or select employee number, e-name, salary from EMP. And select star from hike. So to the 1001 employee, we want to increase 20%, 1002 10, 1003 15, 1004 12. So for these first 4 employees, we want to increase with different percentages. This is our requirement. So now what we have to do is take the cursor. In the cursor, hold this hike table data. Take the cursor. In the cursor, hold this hike table data. So how we have to declare now? Cursor C1 is select star from hike. Select star from hike. So hike table data we are holding in the C1. So open this cursor. Okay. So now this data will be stored in the Oracle instance. When fetch is executed for first time, this first row will be copied. So fetch we are executing now. Fetch C1. Okay. Into R. R is which type now? Row type. Which table row type? Hike table row type. So first row we are holding in the R. This is R value now. So we want to update the salary. What we have to write? Update EMP set salary equals to salary plus, okay, how much percentage? This much percentage. Okay, sorry, here hike we have taken, column name hike. Remember this, column name not percentage, column name is hike. Otherwise I use alter command, I rename that one. Okay, so salary plus salary into how much percentage? This percentage. R dot, this is R value, right? This is R value. So to access this percentage, what we have to write? R dot hike. Okay, so I rename it, percentage I rename. So R dot percentage by 100. Okay, to where employee number equals to which employee? This employee. Employee number is in the R dot employee number. That's it. This one we have to write. So this first record we are holding in the R. So to increase the salary, what we are writing? Update. Assume this column name is PR. Update. Okay. In which table we want to update? EMP table. Set salary equals to salary plus, okay, percentage value, this percentage. So R dot percentage salary into R dot percentage by 100. Where employee number equals to which employee? R dot employee number. So first time, what is R dot employee number value? 1001. To the 1001, how much percentage it increases? 20%. Next, when fetch is executed, this will become R now. Now what is R dot employee number value? 1002. What is R dot percentage value? 10. When fetch is executed for next time, this will become R now. Okay, R dot employee number 1003. R dot percentage value 15. When fetch is executed for next time, okay, this will become R now. Okay, now R dot employee number 1004. R dot percentage value 12. Okay, after this no rows are there. So when record is not found, terminate the loop. That's it. Okay. So this is the program we need to write. Now I'm renaming this hike. Okay. So this one I am giving as percentage. Percentage I am giving. Okay. So for renaming the column, what we have to write? Alter table, table name. Okay. For renaming the column, what we have to write? Rename column. Column name is hike. So hike column name we want to rename to PR, percentage. Table altered. Okay. Observe here. Select star from hike. Column name is modified. Okay. So this is hike table and this is EMP table. So according to the hike table percentages, we want to increase salary to the employees in the employee table. This is our requirement. So we are writing the program now. Observe. After writing this program, I stop the session. Listen. Declare. Begin. End. Slash. So in the cursor, we want to hold, hike table data. What we have to write? Cursor C1 is select star from hike. So hike table data we are holding in the cursor. Okay. So we need to open the cursor now. To open the cursor, what we are writing? Open C1. we need to fetch the record from cursor. Fetch C1 into R. R is which type variable now? R is which table? Hike table. Hike table row we are holding. Hike percentage row type. Okay. So now R has first row. We want to update the record, employee salary. What we have to write? Update, EMP, set, salary equals to salary plus. So now what R has? R has employee number and percentage. First employee 1001. 1001 percentage is 20. First record holded in the R. Okay. So this much percentage we want to increase now. So on salary, we want to calculate that much percentage. So salary into R dot percentage by 100. To whom we want to increase that we have to tell. Where employee number equals to which employee? This employee number. R dot employee number. R dot employee number. So for first employee, salary will be updated. Okay. So for second employee also we want to calculate. So write this in the loop. Second record will be fetched. Second employee salary will be updated. So this will become 1002 now. Okay. Percentage will become 10 now. Okay. So for 1002 employee, 10% hike will be given. Okay. So when record is not found, terminate it. What we have to write here? Exit when C1 percentage not found. So this code we are writing inside of the loop. Here finally write end loop. Okay. To save this transaction, what we are writing here? Commit. Commit we are writing in the end. Okay. So dbms underscore output dot put underscore line for user understanding purpose. Okay. Salaries incremented. Okay. Salaries incremented or updated. Salaries updated. So how many salaries are updated? If we want to get that value, okay. So row count variable, row count attribute is there. So C1 percentage row count I am using now. C1 percentage row count. So number of employees will be printed here. These many employee salaries are updated. So C1 percentage row count. These many employees salaries. So 15 employees salaries are updated. Okay, 14 employees salaries are updated like that. Like that it will display. Okay. So here percentage row count. It prints number of rows fetched here. Finally, to close the cursor, what we are writing? Close C1. Okay. So with different percentages to different employees with different percentages, we are giving the hike. I'm copying this program. Observe here. So this is the program. Okay. Observe. So what it is telling? 4 employees salaries updated, because in the hike table, how many employees records are there? 4. So for 4 employees salaries are updated. Percentage row count value we printed. Percentage row count value, what it is printing here? 4. Because 4 rows are fetched from the hike table. In the hike table, how many rows are there? 4. So 4 rows are fetched here. So when fetch is executed for one time, row count value will be incremented by 1. Second row fetched, row count value 2. Third row fetched, row count value 3. Like that. Okay. So this is the program. So salaries are updated or not. Check by opening the table data. Employee number, e-name, salary from EMP. For 1001 employee, previously salary was, for 1001 employee, previously salary was 9,960. For 1002 employee, salary was 11,316. For 1003 employee, 8,181.25. For 1004 employee, 11,484. So these values I'm writing. Okay. Updated or not, we want to check. Observe. Observe here. Now these are the updated salaries. After running our program, 4 salaries are updated. Okay, updated salaries, observe here. So this first employee salary, 1001 employee salary. Previously, his salary was 9,960. Now his salary is 11,952. Updated. Previously, 1002 employee salary, 11,316. Now 12,447. Previously, 8,181, 9,408. Previously, 11,484. Okay, now 12,862. 4 salaries are updated here. So, to different employees, different percentages of hike we are giving by using the cursor concept. Is it clear? I'm stopping the session here. So, in the next session, I explain 1 or 2 examples on cursor and we discuss ref cursor, and tomorrow I finish this cursor topic. If time is there, also I give introduction on exception handling. Next chapter is exception handling. Okay. So, thank you everyone. See you tomorrow. Online students, if you have any queries,